What's going on, guys? Welcome to your Sunday night second stimulus check update. Today I have some big news that I want to address, and what I'm going to talk about is going to directly affect, it's going to play a major role in how much stimulus we get. It's also going to play a role in what kind of stimulus gets distributed to the American people. So this is big. This is big news. This morning, I addressed how we could see retroactive stimulus checks. This video right now is going to elaborate on that a little bit. If you didn't get a chance to watch the video I did this morning, I will link to it. It will be the first link down in the description box below, so make sure you go and check that out. Now, let's get into this big news. Again, this is big news. An article from The Hill, who's a very respectable media outlet, The Hill, just published. They just published this article a few hours ago from creating this video. And it stated some very interesting facts. The first thing that I noticed in this, now it's not a very lengthy article, but it was well written. The first thing that I noticed is as of Monday, so 6 days ago, as of Monday, there were 762,000 absentee ballots that have been requested ahead of the runoff. Now, who benefits the most from absentee ballots? Is it the Democratic Party or the Republican Party? Yes, you guessed it. Absentee ballots greatly favor Democrats, not Republicans. This is big. This is big because this number, the 762,000 absentee ballots as of right now, or as of 6 days ago, this number is expected to top 1 million people, 1 million absentee ballots. So, once this number does top 1 million absentee ballots, what it's going to do, based on what experts are predicting, is that this is going to possibly lead to another contested election, more recounts, and possibly lawsuits as well. We are already going through lawsuits, we're already going through a contested election, and we're already going through recounts. It's been taking far too long. We're almost a month past November 3rd. Okay, we're getting close. Okay, we're getting very close, and we still don't have an answer. President Trump says he has proof of voter fraud, but the courts won't let anybody see it. Well, so right now, what we know is that if Democrats win both seats, both seats in Georgia, that means the Senate will now be controlled by Democrats. And to make matters worse, state law says that votes cannot be counted until after the polls close, which means polls can't start to be counted until sometime on January 5th. Well, the new Congress is supposed to be in session on January 6th. My guess is all the votes will not be counted in time for the new Congress to really start, or these two senators to be part of the new Congress on day one. Which also means this is going to make things a little bit slower. This is going to push back stimulus. This is going to push back whatever Congress or whatever the Senate wants to do for the first couple days, or maybe even the first week, or possibly 2 weeks, depending on if there's a contested election. So again, if the races are tight, and I expect they will be tight, then I do expect another contested election, which is only going to drag out stimulus talks and negotiations. Because right now, the reports are saying that Nancy Pelosi, have we heard from Nancy Pelosi in the past few days? No. Where's Nancy Pelosi been? Back at home. Nancy Pelosi is pretty much just sitting idly by, waiting for January 5th to roll around. That's what these reports are saying. Because if Republicans will not accept the 2.2 or 2.4, whatever she says it really is, that HEROES Act 2.0, if Republicans will not accept that, she is willing to wait because she has the most to gain from the January 5th election. She also has a lot to lose. So, this is one of the reasons why I'm optimistic about stimulus, but it could be it could be a while before we see stimulus. It honestly could. I am optimistic. I'm very hopeful that we see stimulus before, whether it's a comprehensive stimulus package, a skinny bill, executive orders. I just hope we see something before the end of 2020. It's already been a bad year. But if on top of this bad year we see a massive amount of evictions, people losing their jobs, more people being laid off, and unemployment just coming to an end, it's going to be a terrible time. January is going to be a horrible month for millions of Americans. This is also the reason why 2 Democratic Senate candidates are both running on the premise that if Republicans win, then Americans should expect Mitch McConnell to stonewall all legislation. John Ossoff, one of the Democratic candidates, said, and I quote, "We all know what's going to happen if McConnell holds the Senate. He will try to do to Biden and Harris, just like he tried to do President Obama." John Ossoff went on to say, "It will be paralysis, partisan trench warfare, obstructionism as far as the eye can see, at a moment of crisis when we need strong action." Democrats continue to push for a large-scale stimulus package. We know this. We know what they're trying to do. We know what their goal is. They want larger stimulus checks. Larger stimulus checks is what everyone keeps saying. However, and I just want to be very clear, when a Democrat says larger stimulus checks, they're not specifically referring to the one check, that $1,200 check that they give each individual, each filer. That's not what they're referring to when they say larger stimulus checks. When they say larger stimulus checks, they're referring to the overall people. Larger. Which means they want stimulus checks to go to people with an ITIN number. Republicans don't want that. So it's in a sense, the stimulus checks, the overall budget of it is going to increase to accommodate for all the people with ITIN numbers, and possibly maybe $1,000 per individual or $500 per individual, as opposed to $500 for all dependents under the age of 17. So right there, larger stimulus checks doesn't actually mean larger per individual. It just means as a whole, it's going to be larger. So I just want to clarify that, because I know a lot of people are questioning. Everyone says it's a larger stimulus check, but it's still $1,200. How is it larger? Well, that's the reason why. Is because they are just playing politics with the words. So they also want to see more state and local government funding. Just this morning, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said that just for the vaccine to be distributed, it will cost states about $30 billion. The vaccines are going to cost about $30 billion to distribute. That's not per state. That's all the states. So if we break that down, and it's not every state is going to see a fraction of that, because we're just going to divide it by however many states we have. That's not the way it works. What they're saying is we need to divide it by the amount of people. It needs to be distributed evenly. We don't want the same amount of vaccines to go to California as the vaccines that go to Maine. It just wouldn't make sense. So that's another issue. We need money for the distribution of vaccines. Also, larger unemployment funding. This means actually 2 things. We need larger checks. If Democrats win, it's going to be $600 per week. Guarantee you it will be $600 per week. And they are not going to negotiate that number. Nancy Pelosi has been very, very strict on, we're sticking to this number. Do not try to talk us off of it, because this is our number. Now, I believe, based on reports, she went down to like 450, but she wanted longer stimulus, longer unemployment benefits. So it was going to go from September, October, November, December, all of January, for 5 months. 5 months of unemployment benefits. That's 5 months of a $600 per week boost. That right there has many people that are working and not unemployed upset. Let me know down in the comment section below, if you are currently working, will you make more if you received your state benefit? Let's say it's just $300 a week plus $600, so $900 per week, would you make more working, or would you make more getting that $3,600 in unemployment? Let me know down in the comment section below, because I've heard from a lot of people that why do we keep paying the unemployed when the people that are working are actually making less? Shouldn't they receive something? Is that not fair? Well, let me know down in the comment section below, what are your thoughts? There will also be school funding and funding for testing, tracing, and treatment as well. Now, this is also the reason why Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, he stated this morning, that he is urging Mitch McConnell to put the HEROES Act on the floor. And just last week he said, and I quote, "Put the bill on the floor and let the members decide its fate." He says, Chuck Schumer says, let the members, let the Senate decide whether the bill passes or not. If it doesn't pass, so be it. We'll go back to the table and we will continue to negotiate. If it does pass, great. We'll get the funding out to the American people as quickly as possible. Now, although this could potentially get the support of the GOP and the support that it needs to pass, Mitch McConnell will never, and I repeat, will never put this bill on the floor as of right now. He won't do it because it will show how divided the GOP is at this time. And any showing of weakness before the Georgia Senate runoff election would actually put the Georgia election in jeopardy. And it would most likely hurt the chances of both Republicans to win. So both chances, both seats would most likely go to Democrats. This is one of the reasons why Mitch McConnell will not put this bill on the floor at this time. After the election, possibly, but right now, it won't happen. Now, I wanted to bring this update to you for one main reason. Earlier this morning, I published a video stating how there's a slim chance we see any retroactive stimulus. However, even though there's a slim chance that we see a retroactive stimulus, the chances of seeing it happen go up with each passing day that the GOP is not united. The GOP needs to be united. If they are not, and they show weakness, it actually hurts their entire party, and it hurts their chances in Georgia. Here's what we need to be looking at and looking for over the next few weeks. Just want to break this down so that you guys understand what to look for as we move into the final month of 2020, as we move into the government spending bill, the possible shutdown on December 11th, as we move into when the Electoral College is going to pretty much decide who won. That will be December 14th. And on December 18th will be the last day Congress is in session as of right now. Here's what we need to look for. Who is getting control of Georgia? We will not know who actually wins, but who's gaining control. Does President Trump head down to Georgia and do another rally? Does Joe Biden head down to Georgia and potentially do a rally? What's going on there? Are leaders negotiating a new deal? This is something I haven't talked about in a while, but it's going to come down to politics, these political games again. Is Nancy Pelosi trying to get a new deal passed? Is Mitch McConnell trying to get a new deal passed? Because what we know right now is if Republicans pass a Democrat bill, that was pretty much passed through the House first, it's going to make Republicans look weak and vice versa. So there needs to be a new bipartisan bill created, bipartisan bill agreed upon. If it's not, both parties run the risk of looking weak, and they can't afford that. Again, the American people can't afford food, but our Congress, our two leaders can't afford to look weak when the American people are physically weak because they're not eating enough food. That's where we're at. Also, will President Trump's team be able to provide proof of fraud? He says yes. And I'm thinking there's something happening based on what some of these Republicans have been saying in the media just over the last few days, but we won't know until it actually comes out. So, will they be able to show proof of fraud? If they do, what is it? How is it going to affect the overall election? How much fraud are we going to see? Also, will President Trump do any executive orders? And if he does, this will help garner more votes in Georgia. So, this is a good thing if he does an executive order. But again, as of right now, We don't know what's going to happen. Now, the last thing is, will the omnibus bill get passed? And if it does get passed, is there any stimulus in it? Right now, we don't know. I have no idea. I could tell you what people are saying. I could tell you what Republicans are saying and Democrats are saying. But until the bill actually passes, we don't know what's going to be in it. We don't know what's going to be in it because they don't want to tell us what's going to be in it. It's all pretty much just hush-hush at this point. But hopefully this week, we have answers. So, these are all the things that we need to be looking forward to and looking out for this week. But as always, as I know more, I promise I will come back and share more. Consider subscribing so I can keep you updated on all the new updates regarding stimulus. Make sure you smash that thumbs up button, and I'll see you guys on the next one.